Did y'all come to worship the King tonight?
Hey, great morning. Welcome to Triple M Monday Morning Motivation. We got a new the family. Want to introduce you guys to. What's up? What's up, you guys? It's going to be an amazing, amazing Monday morning. I wanted to introduce you guys. Prezi, come here. I'm going to introduce you guys to the newest member of our family. We just got a new addition. We adopted a little pup. She's only about 9 weeks old, and she is new to the Clark clan. Just arrived today from the store. Not literally, but kind of. So, welcome. She's getting her personal development on too this morning. Let's get it. She's going to be listening in. So, great morning. It's going down. It's time to turn up. Hey! I'm ready to turn up. Triple M Monday Morning Motivation. Woo! We turned up right now. It's going to be an epic Monday. We're going to have people logging on live, people watching the recording. It's going to be an amazing day. So no matter where you get this information, how you get it, or when you get it, awesome that you got it. So without further ado, I'm going to be your host today. Roxy will be jumping in too, but my name is Aubrey. Triple M Monday Morning Motivation is created with the intention of giving you guys energy, insight, inspiration, and motivation to start your week out. This week, we're going to be listening to Tony Robbins' Top 10 Rules for Success, but part 2. Last week, we listened to the first 5. And if you didn't get a chance to watch that, go ahead and check it out. It's on youtube.com/DrAubreyWellness, the channel. And then this is going to be part 2. So Tony Robbins, world-renowned speaker, philanthropist, life changer. He's an amazing guy. Changed my life just through his videos. Also went to an event of his. Mind-blowing. And here he's going to be sharing the rest of his rules for success. And while we're starting, make sure you're taking notes because we're going to get live insights from the callers in. And you can type in your takeaways either on the chat or you can share live. And we're going to be getting going. So get your notes ready. And without further ado, let's get my man Tony on the ones and twos. Not literally, but kind of literally. Welcome, Tony Robbins, to Triple M. Let's get it.
What does it take to create world-class marketing? What is the unique selling proposition? What is what we call value-added marketing, VAM? Today, most people are sick and tired of advertising because where is it? Everywhere. In fact, I got a question for you. How many of you in this room do not even see banner ads anymore? Literally, it's there, but you don't perceive it. Like your brain literally washes it out. Raise your hand if that's true. Keep your hands nice and high and look around the room right now, and you'll see 98% of the people wash it out. So don't buy them unless you're going to create something really unique. It's a total waste of your money and your time in the world we're in today. Today, what creates marketing is when you don't just market, but you add value to people. You do something, you teach them, you give them an insight, you give something valuable that costs them nothing, and then they look to you as an expert. They look to you as a person that adds value. They want you to supply them more information, more experience, more products, more services. If you made this whole business about meeting your needs, you can run a successful business, but it'll be a job. Because you'll never be able to sell it. Because if it's just meeting your needs, it's not a system. It demands your attention, your connection. It's giving what you want. But ultimately, it's not going to give somebody else what they want, so you can't sell it. If you can't sell your business, if you don't have an exit strategy, you have a job. I don't care how successful the business is. That doesn't mean you have to sell the business. But one of the most important decisions you make in business is, ultimately, if I was going to sell this, if I chose to, I have to know who would I sell this to so that I have long-term value, not just an income along the way. I have this critical mass hit. I get a multiple of my business. And most people don't have a clear exit strategy. They think I'll come up with that someday. You're going to start with that end in mind. That's got to be part of your focus if you're going to be successful in your business. I can remember a gentleman who built CAA in Hollywood. It was the largest, most successful agency, right? Michael Ovitz, remember that name? He put together Nike and Coca-Cola and these billion-dollar deals. And eventually, Mike Ovitz went to go sell that business. He'd never thought through an exit strategy, and he got almost nothing for it. Because the laws prevented him from selling it to a studio. He had to sell it to some of his employees for pennies on its real value. Now, Mike found a way to make money later on in another place off of Disney, But the bottom line is, the guy didn't have an exit strategy. Even though it was brilliant, made lots of money, in the end didn't get the value. Whenever people fail to achieve their goals, 99.9% of the time, and you ask them why, they'll tell you it's because of a lack of resources. That's what all these things are. I didn't have the support, right? I didn't have the money. We didn't have the time. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. There's a resource that people believe is missing. And that resource, belief structure, then keeps people from ever being able to really lead. Because what leaders do is they find a way to maximize whatever resources they have, as little as they may be, and they don't believe in limited resources. I'll give you an example. Let's take a business example to start with. In 1974, a guy named Sam Walton had built his little company up. He came up with an idea. He started with $20,000 in, I think, 1962, if I remember right. But by 1974, within 12 years, he had 78 stores. And you know how he did it? In the middle of the night, he'd drive across the border and he'd go and study other people's stores. He'd buy everything the cheapest he could in the middle of the night. He'd go to people's stores. Whatever was working, he figured out. Success leaves clues. He came back and did it in his store. Whatever was working in any store, in any competitor, anywhere he could do it, he did it. So he figured out how to maximize the little resources he had, his 20,000, built 78 stores, and if you read any of the people following him, the company had gone public in that year, they were all saying, this is it. He's maximized his resources. I mean, he only has so much money. There's only so many cities that are going to appeal to this discounting mentality, right? This is it. This is all he can do. And the word on Wall Street was sell. Now, what's interesting is at that time, you look at Sears and Kmart, and they were gargantuan companies, weren't they? 20, 30, 40, 50 times, 100 times his size or more, probably. And at that time, they were the leaders, and they knew what's going to happen. But did things change, yes or no? Did he suddenly get mass amounts of capital? No. Here's what they didn't understand. Sam Walton now, or the Walton organization, Walmart, is the most successful retailing operation on earth. And when you talk about Bill Gates being the richest man in the world, that's only true because Sam's fortune is divided up amongst a bunch of different family members. You put them together, they dwarf Bill Gates. Sam Walton did this. How did he do it? What people underestimated is that this guy could go to 4,400 stores, do $250 billion. Where's Kmart today? And they've been shrinking. All of them have been shrinking. And he's the dominant force on earth. Here's the thing he understood. Resources are interesting, but the ultimate resources are the feelings of emotion that make you resourceful. Think of it this way. Resourcefulness is the ultimate resource. What do I mean? What are the emotions that make all this possible? What's the fuel that takes an idea from being in your head where you intellectually know what to do? How many have had an idea, for example, was a great idea, you're excited about it, and then you didn't do anything. One day, there you saw it on the shelf, you saw it somewhere else, someone stole your idea. How many have had this happen? Say, I. The only difference between you and that person was not that they had more resources, they were more resourceful. Success and failure are not giant events. They don't just show up. You don't just suddenly become successful or suddenly have this cataclysmic event that makes you fail. It may look that way, but failure comes from all the little things. It's failure to make the call. It's failure to check the books. It's failure to say, I'm sorry. It's failure to push yourself to do things physically that you don't want to do. And all those little failures day after day come together until one day some cataclysmic event happens and you blame that. That event happened because you missed all the little stuff. Do you agree with me? And success, by the way, is not some overnight event. It's all these little things. Success is having a vision. Success is making it compelling. Success is really seeing it and feeling it every day with strong enough reasons. Success is feeling the sense that I'm here to grow and I'm here to give something to the world more than just myself. All the little stuff. That's where success comes from. In business, it comes from delivering more than anybody could imagine. All those little things add up. People go, wow, that's who I want to do business with. It's true in any area of your life. Leverage is critical. You know how I get so much done? Because I don't just get it done. I know the outcome, I know the purpose, and I look for leverage. Leverage is different than delegation. What's the problem with delegation? Delegation is you have all that needs to be done, so you give it to someone else, and you tell them what needs to be done, and when they don't do it, you're pissed off. Leverage says, I can move the biggest boulder in the world with a little bit of effort if I got something I can do it with, but I'm still part of it. So leverage is, if I'm going to leverage something here with Tom, I'm going to make sure Tom understands the what? The outcome. I want to make sure Tom understands the the purpose, the why, and the action. But I might say to Tom, if you can get this done without this action or better action, go for it, baby. And I want to talk to you on this date, and we got to promise and we're going to check in before it's needed. So there's no surprises. And if you're having problems, Tom, come back to me because we're partners on this. That I call leverage. And you know what I do when I have no time? There is time. I just got to leverage it. You know what I'm saying? I have no one to leverage it to. You know? Shane over here, right? I got all the stuff he wants to do. He can't leverage it. But Shane's answer was, hire somebody. Then he thinks about what it's going to take and goes, $125,000. I can't do that now. He's getting caught up in one way to get the outcome. Leverage. He goes through his list and goes, what if I got someone to do 20% of this stuff? I could spend 20 grand to get that much freedom. I could pay for it times 10. And if I'm really productive, my productivity should enhance the world, not only my clients and customers, but it should provide jobs for other people. And if there's anything you hate to do, it's because you're either ineffective at it or you don't think it's very important, but it is urgent. So you need to hire somebody for those things. And ideally, somebody who loves that job. You're never going to grow when your time is eaten up for activities that aren't that important. Activity without high levels of purpose is the drain of your fortune. Do it now. If you can't get it all now, do a part of it now. Leverage is power. Leverage is ultimate power. Here's what I've created for my life and anyone I know has succeeded. I'm a 17-year-old kid from Azusa, California, with no real education other than self-education, with no background, with parents that did their best, all of them, with no money, but I did one thing. I love people, and I had an enormous demand I made upon myself, and I sculpted my mind and my emotions to get me to do whatever it would take to achieve and to contribute. But to do that, I did it by using my body and changing my focus. I did it by putting myself in a peak physiology and using what I call incantations. Can you train yourself to believe something, yes or no? Absolutely. How many of you ever made the fatal mistake of going to Disneyland or Disney World, and while you're there made the fatal mistake of going to a ride called It's a Small World After All? What happens for about a week after you're out of that damn place? You're still singing this thing in your head in 24 languages, right? Well, let me tell you something. How many of you have things when you want to go achieve them and this part of your voice goes, oh, it's not going to happen, or forget it? How many got a voice that sometimes interrupts that good pattern? Say I. And what you want to do is train a new one. So starting when I was 17, I started doing incantations, not affirmations. Affirmation, you go, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. What's the problem? You haven't changed your what? Your what? Physiology. If you don't change your physiology, you won't get anything. So in incantations, not only you speak it, but you embody what you're saying with all the intensity you can. And you do it with enough repetitions that it sticks in your head. Like It's a Small World, now the conversation in your head is always the same and it gives you what you want. So you use your body and your voice. So 17 years ago, I started doing things. I was working for Jim Rohn, this speaker, and I was 17 years old. I had long hair, minestrone soup, acne on my face. And I was trying to call on Bear Stearns type of people and convince them why they should go to this man's seminar and be more successful. I was driving a 1968 Volkswagen that I had earned at $40 a week as a janitor. The only way I did it was park far from the building and then go in, and I love people, and I believe, but I put myself in state, and I was able to influence people that were far more successful than I was at the time. I would do something that I still do backstage and have done for 23 years because I don't hope I'm going to be in a good state. I demand it. So I do an incantation using my whole body. I'd say, I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible alive today to better their lives by giving me the strength, the emotion, the persuasion, the humor, the brevity, whatever it takes to show these people and get these people to change their lives now. And I would do that literally driving in my Volkswagen to a meeting in LA on the freeway for 40 minutes. People are looking at me, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. They're going, I know he's a serial killer, I know he is. But by the time I entered that room, when two people meet, if there's rapport, the person who's most certain will always influence the other person. And I was totally certain, and they were trying to get revved up to certainty. Do you agree with this, yes or no? I do another one because I was poor. I changed my mindset. I kept doing things, but I never got beyond it. I'd say God's wealth is circulating in my life. His wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs, desires, and goals are met instantaneously by infinite intelligence, for I'm one with God and God is everything. And I would imagine the abundance of my life, and I would feel so grateful. And a year later, I went from making $38,000 a year to making $1 million a year in 1 year.
Thank you so much for watching. I made this video because Subhash Limbu and my cameraman Jason asked me to. So if there's a famous entrepreneur that you want me to profile next, leave it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do.
Lots of epic nuggets. Let's get some shares. Roxy, what do you got?
What's up, you guys? So some of my biggest takeaways. I really loved how he talked about leaders maximize their resources, and resourcefulness is the ultimate resource. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, like, you have to learn how to use your resources. For me, for example, one of the major resources that I use if I'm at home and I don't have time to go out and meet people, I use things like Instagram and Facebook and social media to go ahead and find new people. That's being resourceful. And it's also, in a sense, leveraging, what I do have available. If I'm at home, I can't be like, oh, I can't do this. No, like, there's plenty of ways to leverage your business. There's plenty of ways to be resourceful. So I really love that. And then the last one, I really loved how he talked about changing your mindset and the power of incantations versus affirmations. I love affirmations, but I loved how he talked about how incantations is not only saying something like I'm beautiful, I'm happy, but rather really like getting into peak state, moving your body. Like, I remember when we went to his seminar, and those are the kind of things that he had us do. He had us get up and scream and jump and get into a certain kind of energy and then say the things that you want. Because it's kind of like that thing, like, if you're in a negative space, if you're like in a state of I can't, or I don't think this person's going to want to do this, and you're telling them why they should do this, people are going to not listen to what you say, but they're going to listen with the energy, because we're all connected in energy, and you can really tell where someone is at just by the energy. It doesn't matter what they say. So I thought that was so key. And he's like, embody what you want, use your body, and use your voice. So I'm excited to continue to do that and to practice that, because sometimes we can get caught up in our old habits. But remember, if we want a different kind of life, we have to embody new habits, embody the things that we want in order to be able to attract the things that we want into our life. So those are my takeaways.
Awesome. Epic. Love it. Some of the ones for me, adding value. How are you adding value to others? He talked about, he asked a question in one of his videos. He's like, how many of you guys are here? Because he was at a live event. He's like, how many of you guys are here because you saw me on YouTube? And so many of the people who were there raised their hand. When we went, I was there because I had seen him on YouTube. So that was free stuff he put out. And that's what got me to the event, because my life had already been changed by the value he added simply through YouTube. So how are you adding value? And it was free. He didn't make any income on that. But then ultimately we went to his seminar, most expensive event we've ever paid for, but way worth the price and much more. So how are you adding value? How are you adding value to your clients if you're an Herbalife member? How are you adding value to your family and friends? How are you adding value to your company if you're an employee? People will keep you in their lives if you add value to them. Because as human beings, we need to be efficient with our time and our relationships. You can't be friends. You can't be coworkers. You can't be teammates with a million people effectively. You just can't. So eventually, us as efficient human beings will eventually stay with those that add value to us. Meaning that imagine if you were a client and the person you're working with wasn't continuously adding value to you. Do you think you would continue being a client? So this is something to be aware of if you're an Herbalife member supporting your clients. If you're an Herbalife leader building your organization. If you're an employee, are you adding value to the company that employs you? If not, you might not be an employee for long. So really remember that. I love that. Be resourceful. This is probably one of the best tips you can ever get if you really understand this. He said, I want you to think back to a time when you weren't successful. Maybe you thought it's because you were too short. Maybe you thought it was because you were too young. Maybe because you thought you were too old. Maybe you had a leader and you thought it was because of the leader, but maybe the leader thought it was because of the people that were following. But then I want you to think about, has somebody else been successful in that same situation? And it is. It is true. You can have any situation, and there's been somebody else that's been successful with your same challenges. Once I took that on, I was like, damn. So maybe it wasn't all those excuses I came up with. Maybe it was me. Maybe I didn't dig enough to become resourceful enough. And I took the responsibility from outside of me and I put it inside of me. They call that locus of control, meaning when it's external, when you blame other things, when I blamed other things, I got myself off the hook. I was like, well, they didn't want to stay on their nutrition program. Oh, well, they didn't want to grow in Herbalife. Oh, well, they didn't want to play hard enough on the basketball team. Whatever it was, I put it on them. And in effect, people have been successful with my same situation and circumstances. So it wasn't them and it wasn't the circumstances. It was me. So I had to put it locus of control inside and say, now I get to be more resourceful. And I catch myself with this all the time still. You know, oh, man, I don't have this big organization. Oh, man, I don't have this huge facility. Oh, man, I don't have $1 million. And, oh, man, I don't have a huge this or a huge that. And then I look back, especially inside of Herbalife, and I see people that are successful without all those things that I'm using as crutches. So that means it's possible. And that means that I don't need those to be successful. That means that I get to become more resourceful. So I really like that one. And if you looked at some of the examples he used, he looked at Walmart versus Kmart and Sears. And when he said that, did you guys notice he said, where's Kmart at these days? Guess why? Because Kmart didn't continue to be resourceful. They rested on the past. They rested on their past success, creating their future success. And that's a recipe for disaster. Kmart, if they're still here, won't be here for very long. I don't know the last time I shopped at a Kmart. And I'm pretty sure most of you guys usually don't shop at Kmart. So just ideas to think about. Okay, resourcefulness. All right, next. Pay attention to the little things. This was a really key one. He said success isn't some huge cataclysmic event. I used to think, man, success is this big thing. If I just get this big thing or if I miss this big thing, I'll be successful or I won't. But it's not. Success is all the little things. I was working out with a member of ours yesterday, and we were talking about some stretch goals. He was like, I really want to be successful in Herbalife. I really want to do this. I'm trying to figure out how to make it happen for me. And I said, what are some stretch goals? Because I was listening to a book, and they talked about stretch goals, which aren't goals that you think are easily met. Create new thinking in your mind, and that's good to change up your thinking patterns. And I said, what are your stretch goals? 2020, what do you want? And he didn't know. He didn't even have stretch goals at the time. So if you don't have stretch goals, what do you think are the chances that you're going to hit some stretch goals? So we created some stretch goals. 2020, it's a great thing. 2020 is coming up 4 years. And I said, okay, awesome. Now we get clarity. He was like, I think I want that. I was like, I don't want what you think. I want what you exactly want. So get clear. We came up with 3 stretch goals. I said, awesome. Now you know that your daily activities are no longer just mundane daily activities. Your daily activities now are stepping stones towards your stretch goals. They have bigger purpose. They have bigger meaning. And meaning is the fuel to get through the things you need to get through. If the daily workout isn't just the daily workout, but it's in effect becoming the best version of yourself to inspire others, how much easier is it to do now? So creating stretch goals, creating those things for you create stepping stones, the little things that create the big thing. Because sometimes you won't think that the big stretch goals can be those daily steps. But that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So that was dope. I'm going to leave the other points because I'm sure you guys have some great ones to share. Who's excited to share? Either raise your hand. Let me see a high five or a thumbs up, or I'll call on you. I think we got 3.0 right here. 3.0, I'm going to unmute you. Let's get it. You're good to go. What'd you take?
The first thing that I liked what he said was, now marketing these days was adding value for free. So I think in Herbalife, we get to add value a lot for free. I could definitely relate to that because a lot of times I'm at Fit Club, and then, I'm meeting new people in my neighborhood, and then I'll just go to their house and, talk to them about nutrition. And at this point, like, they haven't even got a nutrition plan or a 3-day trial, and they might not even get started that day, but I'm giving so much value at the beginning, and I'm saying, let's just go work out. I'm building that relationship. Then eventually they pretty much have no choice but to kind of trust what I'm saying, and they see that, I'm consistent, and that, I'm telling them about everything, that they want to get started. They want to become more involved because it's a fun, happy place. So I want to continue to just add more value to everything that I do, and for the people, because what I've noticed is that everybody knows what they need to do, as far as with like getting results and eating a healthier life, but most people don't have that motivation or that person to hold them accountable. So now I've really just been straight with people, and right off the bat, when I get to know them, I try to just like see what I could do to help them and hold them accountable, even if they don't ask for it. Like, I know that that's what they want, so I'm going to help them no matter what, unless they tell me not to. Like, but everybody needs to help. So add as much value as I can for free, because it'll pay off in the long run. And then, Aubrey was saying, pay attention to the little things. I have my daily disciplines, and I know those little daily disciplines are eventually going to mold me into the person that I want to become. So like you said, like going to the gym and working out, doing my personal development every day, focusing on the food that I'm putting into my body, saying all the positive things to myself, and giving compliments to other people. It's going to help me, just be that Daniel 3.0 and beyond. So, keep doing those little daily disciplines, because in the long run, they're going to end up being the big thing that changed everything for you in your life. And then the next thing was the whole demanding your body and yourself to just get in that state of mind. And this one I'm actually excited to do with my boys, because I think it'll be fun for them. So I'm going to just like get them and say, okay, we need to, like, if I could tell we're like off, I'm going to say, we need to demand ourselves to just be excited. So we're going to be in the car and we're just going to go crazy, and it's just going to be super fun. And I know if I teach them that now, they're going to remind me when I forget, and they're going to remind themselves, because it was fun. It was a fun thing to learn. So I'm excited to do that today. So we just get crazy and demand ourselves to just get in a happy, positive state of mind. And then the last thing that I got was when he said, the person that is most certain will influence the others. So, I really like that. Because sometimes when I go into a situation that I'm not familiar with, I might go into it with a doubting mindset. So now I know that I can't do that anymore. I really have to be prepared and get in that mindset, and doing the thing that I just said, demanding myself, will help with that. So just be most certain, because I know if I'm most certain and I'm feeling a great, positive, confident attitude, that, I'll be easier to influence the other, because I know that's what the best decision for them. And that's all.
Epic. Great shares, 3.0. Really working on yourself. I want to acknowledge that you've been really posting your daily videos, doing your daily discipline. You're on day 20 now. Like, great work, man. Really see the growth, and you keep it up, bro. Let's get one more share before we get off and start our Monday. Thumbs up or a smile if you want to share. James and Sarah, let's get it. I'm going to unmute you guys. Go ahead.
Am I unmuted?
Take away. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. What's up, guys? Thanks again for having the call. For me, what I took away from it was the incantations. Definitely, when I'm able to change my physiology, that's when all the ideas and everything, for the day gets set. Because I really do it in the morning. I try to do meditation, affirmations, and just doing a little bit of a workout, 10 minutes of something, just to really get some oxygen to my brain and get some ideas popping. But once I'm able to do that, I've been doing that for probably the last week. I just really feel like everything's been working a lot better. And definitely what I like about it is kind of being able to, when I listen to songs that I know are going to play when I do hit get team, when I do hit mill team, when I do hit pres team, my body language just changes, and it gets me in this mode. It gets me in this drive just to tackle the day, just to go throughout the day and just do every single thing I can to make sure I get to that get team pin, to make sure I get to that mill team, that pres team, and so on. So every time I listen to, certain song, for me, my get team song is going to be T.I. Bring 'Em Out. I don't know why. I absolutely love that song. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And it puts me in a vision. It sets a vision for me, you know, walking with the team up to the stage and being there, being present. So, you know, the Incantations for me, you know, that part really hit home. Anything for you?
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. It was being resourceful. Actually, Roxy emphasized on it a lot. Resourcefulness is the ultimate resource. Learn from somebody who's already successful. That's the reason why they are successful, is because they're learning from who's already successful in business, in life, in everything that they're doing. So that was something that I really emphasize on now, because before I was like, I can do this by myself. I don't need anybody. I got this. No, I don't got this. I can't do this by myself. Each of us needs all of us. And I got that a lot from October's Leadership Development Weekend. But that was a really big thing that I got from Tony Robbins, was being resourceful.
Dope. Awesome. Great work. Thank you guys for sharing. Great job. Extravaganza's around the corner. See you very soon. You guys, awesome video. Thank you for all the shares. Roxy did epic. Awesome insights from everybody. We're going to upload this to YouTube. Share it with your friends and family that weren't able to be on the call live. And remember, every Monday morning we're here. So excited as we continue to get in the best shape of our lives, leading from the front ourselves. And if this is your first time and you're tuning in or you're watching a recording, welcome to the Triple M family. Don't forget, this Wednesday we have the Herbalife Power Call, having special guest Tara Malia share her results, share her favorite products, and share her transformation, and show you guys how she became a full-time Herbalife member and does this now as a lifestyle and pays it forward. She'll be answering questions live on the call this Wednesday at 6 Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get it. Happy Monday. I'm going to unmute everybody. And let's get it. Where the heck?
Let's get it. We got it. All right. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Adios.